Yo, what is up guys? And today we'll be ranking all of the specialty units in the game and how they fare in PvP. Now we're basically going to be separating these units into 4 separate tiers. S tier units, these units are always going to be very powerful, be able to be used in a lot of defense teams, very flexible and just easy to pick in World Arena as well. We have the A tier units who are still very powerful but just not as universal as S tier. B tier units who are good in certain situations, only very niche or might be only for newer players. And then we also have the C tier units. You generally do not want to use these units at all for PvP, even though some of these units might be very good for PvE content. So leading off in the S tier guys, we have SC Arrowell. This unit completely broken for PvP right now. She's not as strong as before, but she's still very strong. She's going to be very good as a damage mitigating unit. She basically is kind of what Fallen Cecilia was a year or two ago when she was very powerful. And she's just very good because of her escort buff, and also because you can have her on Adamant Shield as well, which stacks with the escort, which makes her mitigate damage extremely well. Not to mention she has very annoying CC. Next we have SC Aiden, the light version. This unit pairs very well with SC Arrowell because SC Arrowell actually will buff light damage units or light element units, and SC Aiden is just very good against a lot of dark units, especially like APOC Ravi, and she just does crazy damage with crazy survivability, especially if you have someone that can mitigate damage for her like SC Arrowell. Next we have Mercedes guys. I know she is not a 3-star unit, but I will put her in this tier list because of the fact that you technically do specialty change her at the end of episode 3, and she's extremely powerful for PvP as well. She's going to be really good on defense teams because there's RNG with her artifact, and also just in World Arena as well. She's extremely powerful if you want to pick a very high damage dealer that can actually, have a lot of safety in that revive from her S2. Next, we have the main character, Adventurer Ross. This unit used to be a lot better, but he's still very good. I think he's just phased out a little bit because SC Arrowell kind of just mitigates damage better than him. You're not going to really pick more than one knight in any team comps, really, for the most part. And Adventurer Ross, very good at mitigating damage like SC Arrowell. It's just a little bit more situational because you have to actually have your backline unit get hit for below 30% of their HP, I believe, and you get a big barrier. But the defense buff is also very nice as well. I do think SC Arrowell is overall better, but there might be some situations where Adventurer Ross is better, especially if you want to play more aggressively because of his S2 dual attacks. That's pretty much it for the S tier units. Let's talk about the A tier units. These units are still very good. So Researcher Carrot guys, this unit is very good. She's pretty good against like Spectre Tenebria. She's also just very good in general, especially if you're not picking her into water units or ice units. Just be careful, there are some counters out there, and she does really rely on landing her debuffs, which can kind of hurt her if you're playing against a heavy cleansing team. Next, we have SC Doris, a very good answer to APOC Robbie, similar to SC Arrowell, or not SC Arrowell, SC Aiden. But Doris is very good as a Soul Weavers for Guild Wars because if you have her in a team and you bait dark units to hit her, you'll actually win like a lot of the fights really easily. Next we have SC Jenna. She was hyped up to be very broken on release, but people are realizing it's very hard to play her, especially when there's a lot of cleansing. But I think she's pretty good, especially for mid-game players because her opening potential is very powerful, and honestly she's probably the best opening unit for specialty change units overall. So I think if you're looking for a good early game arena team, she's very good for cleaving as well. Next we have SC Pillis, pretty good at also cleansing her team and also mitigating damage. Just SC Arrowell is a lot better and Venturos already better. When you have 2 knights in the specialty change pool that already just do what Pillis does but better, no really point to using her, but she's still pretty good. Next we have Falconer Clury. She is pretty strong, but keep in mind like the new unit Elagos kind of just does what she does but better. But she is very good for PvE, but for PvP, she's still in the A tier. You can use her. Just keep in mind that I don't think she's as powerful as other units because you kind of need to actually bring a Toghel's Ancient Book Holder for S3 so it doesn't get resisted. Next we have Wanda guys. I think this unit is criminally underrated as an opening unit. She is very good at disrupting. She has a 2-turn stun, and I think overall if you can actually build her fast enough, she's a very good pocket pick. Some actual high tier players will actually use her sometimes and have her as a pocket pick. I think she's very strong, and not very strong, but definitely stronger than what people think she is. Next we have B tier units. So these units guys still are going to be usable, but only in certain niches for the most part. Angelic Montmorency, I think this unit is very good against heavy debuffs teams, obviously because she's a very good cleanser. And early game, she's actually pretty decent as well. She actually was brought out in the Epic 7 World Championship, I believe, last year, and she's not as bad as people think, even though she is considered to be one of the better cleansers, if not the best cleanser for PvE. She's still very good in PvP, just keep in mind that she doesn't just heal as much as other Soul Weavers does. Next we have Glenn, guys. This guy is an extinction unit, basically. You're going to use him against, revive teams. Just keep in mind that his stat requirements are going to be a little bit higher than other, like, one-shot units. I think Spectre Tenebris is, like, way easier to one-shot units with. Just keep in mind that Glenn, I think he is okay as an extinction unit, but there's just a lot of better options out there. Some of them are, collab units, like Milim and stuff like that. Just keep in mind there's just so many good extinction units already, and a lot of answers to revive. Next we have Ruzin, kind of similar to SC Jenna. He's a very good cleave unit because he can CR push his team up, but for the most part you're not going to really use him too much, but he is okay. Zealot Carmen Rose, she is kind of good as well on defense. If you are looking for a good defense team unit for early game, Zealot Carmen Rose is a good option. Just keep in mind, just not as good as other units on this tier list, like I said. Now for C tier units, guys, these units are not that good in PvP if used at all. I think none of these have any use for PvP right now, so you definitely want to stay away from all these units. I'm sure you might find some really off meta team comps that might work with these units, but for the most part, these units won't be really used in PvP that much. That's pretty much it for this tier list though, guys. Don't really want to drag this on if I don't need to, but let me know what you guys think about my tier list in the comments down below, and if you think any other units need adjustments, because just keep in mind this is my personal opinion, and I will be updating more tier lists in the future periodically because the meta is constantly shifting in Epic 7 with buffs, nerfs, and also new hero releases. That being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.